Tonight, Broken Hill residents preparing for an autumn storm over the weekend, and concerned South Australia's unemployment rate will continue growing.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. First this Friday, Broken Hill and surrounding regions are set to be hit by their first autumn storm over the weekend, with unpredictable weather forecast. Residents are being told to take care on outback roads and make sure their homes are prepared.
The warning signs have been there for a few days, but dark clouds may finally bring rain.
We do have some concern that we may see thunderstorms generated from this, and if we do that, that could see some heavier rainfalls or some very strong winds.
The system moving faster than expected and proving difficult to predict exactly where the storms could fall.
It's a competition between the trough and the high pressure system as to how much of this rainfall is going to be able to come further south.
Monday will be the most telling day. As of this morning, Broken Hill has the possibility of up to 20 millimetres of rain to start the week. But as a demonstration of its unpredictability, Tibooburra could be in for as much as 80 millimetres.
We'll certainly be watching that over the weekend, and the potential is certainly there that there will be some rainfall around the region.
The SES on standby, already receiving requests for sandbags.
We urge the general public to be aware and be prepared. There will be some flash flooding.
Roads around town could be impacted by heavy rain, but of more concern is outback roads, particularly north of Broken Hill.
Because a lot of our roads are gravel surfaces, it's not clear water, so you can't see the bottom. And who knows, 2 metres of the road may have been washed away.
Locals reminded now is the time to prepare your home as we head into a wetter than usual autumn. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
New figures have revealed South Australia's unemployment rate remains the worst in the country for a second month in a row. Local support services are fearing the worst, with the JobKeeper subsidy to be wound back next week.
The sobering reality which has left support services on edge.
At a local level, we're very much seeing that people are struggling.
South Australia receiving the unenviable title of having the worst unemployment in the country for a second month running.
The figures, I think, are concerning because at the moment we've got a huge number of available jobs and we've got a high level of unemployment, but the two aren't coming together.
The state recording a 6.8% unemployment rate, with regional centres some of the hardest hit in the country. Port Augusta recording 11.5% unemployment, Whyalla at 10.6%, while Port Pirie hit a staggering 13%.
We have serious concerns. I know staff here are really worried about next week and the week after and the week after that and what that will mean for people.
Services say it's just the tip of the iceberg, with a JobKeeper subsidy set to end in a week's time.
And I understand people say that there's jobs available and, you know, we need to go to where the jobs are, but it's not that easy when you have maybe a family that are settled, you have children in school, to then move and relocate to a community where there might be job opportunities.
The state government says while the figures are disappointing, they have improved from the previous month, with the construction sector continuing to boom.
That's been so positive to see that stimulus package measures having that impact. However, still getting people to do those jobs is a little bit of a trick.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Moonta Bay community advocate Diana Walters confirmed she'll be running as an independent for the seat in Urunga. Her announcement comes exactly 1 year from the state election, with experts predicting she faces a tough race.
Up and running, Diana Walters' website Arnarunga is officially live. She's ready to campaign in her hometown electorate.
For people that know me, this may not come as a surprise. I have a very long history of being involved in community engagement, politics more broadly.
A community advocate, she plans to engage locals through this seat, with locals urged to write exactly what they want for the electorate on it.
I want to have a seat with people, and having a seat with people means actually having a seat.
The seat in Urunga is up in the air, with current member Fraser Ellis recently moving to the crossbench. Experts say the seat is traditionally a Liberal stronghold.
The seat of Urunga is always a safe seat for the Liberal Party. The Labor Party have never come near winning it. So if the Liberals are not going to win it, it's only an independent who could take it.
But Mr McIntyre says having a high profile is a benefit.
Difficult for independents to win seats unless they come with a high profile, someone like Jeff Brock, who was a local mayor.
I don't have policies as such. I have positions, and again, people would be very well aware of my advocacy around better patient access for medicinal cannabis.
She's also unveiled one of her major positions, providing incentives for university graduates to move to the regions.
Incentive might be that if you sign up for 5 years in the regions, that we can help write down your debt.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Lincoln man has been reported for cultivating and possessing cannabis after reporting his plants had been stolen. Just before 5 yesterday morning, patrols were called to the Forbes Street property after reports several men were breaking into the victim's shed. Police say the thieves made off with a quantity of cannabis before police arrived. The 39-year-old victim is expected to front court at a later date. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, a man has been reported for allegedly cultivating cannabis at his home at Couch Beach on the York Peninsula. Just before 11 yesterday morning, police attended the property for a drug search. Patrols allege they found cannabis cookies and seeds during the search, as well as plants growing outside. He was also issued on-the-spot fines for having insecure ammunition, with police alleging loose bullets were also found. Still to come tonight, Port Augusta residents urged to protect their valuables after a spate of break-ins, and a new mental support project for kidney transplant patients launched in our region. Welcome back. Port Augusta police are urging residents to lock up after a spate of break-ins and thefts across the city. They say it's important to take preventative steps to reduce the risk of becoming a target.
It's one of our worst fears, having valuables stolen from inside our homes and cars. For Port Augusta Police, it's an issue growing in the community.
We did experience a handful of break-ins in the Port Augusta area where people were actually taking advantage of vulnerable people in the community and gaining access to their premises, and then whilst inside taking property before leaving.
Local officers dealing with an increase in reports of thefts and break-ins over the past few weeks.
Fortunately, we were able to investigate that matter, and a woman from Port Augusta was arrested with those offences. So that was great work by our members to achieve that.
In many cases, the victims' homes and vehicles have been left unlocked and unattended.
What we've also seen is a number of opportunistic thefts in the Port Augusta West area, where people are gaining access to vehicles that have been left unlocked and then taking items of value.
They say visible wallets, handbags, phones and other valuable items are proving tempting.
What we're asking people to do is obviously be mindful of their security, ensure that they keep valuables out of their cars, lock their homes and their cars.
Police are urging anyone who sees suspicious activity to report it to the police assistance line on 131 444.
If you see something or hear something, then say something.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Pooncarie Road upgrade has been suspended. Central Darling Shire Council stopping work after reports a number of scar trees were removed during construction. Council saying it respects Aboriginal culture and heritage, labelling the incident as disappointing. A report has been made to the relevant authority. Works won't resume until clearance has been provided by the Department of Premier and Cabinet. A multi-million-dollar support package is being rolled out in South Australia for early intervention programs into child abuse and neglect. Families needing support are set to receive more help, with the state government delivering more than $50 million over the next 4 years. The tailored support services will be offered in metro and regional communities, aiming to turn the tide for vulnerable families. The Port Wakefield to Port Augusta Alliance project team is inviting locals to a community information session next week. Residents can expect to learn about upcoming construction activities and share their views on what information they would like to receive. It will be held at the Port Augusta site office next Wednesday between 3 and 6 p.m. Those interested in attending must register by Monday. In a first for the region, kidney disease patients at the Port Augusta Hospital will be receiving support from lived experience mentors. It's part of a new program aimed at easing fears about the transplant process.
It's a new initiative helping to provide better support and healthcare to patients with kidney disease. Port Augusta's hospital securing funding for the On Track to Transplant project, appointing 3 new patient navigators who will support Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander patients throughout their transplant journey.
The navigators come on board and share that lived experience with the patients so that they can know firsthand what that process is like.
Since the start of the project in September last year, 28 patients have joined on, with 8 making it onto waiting lists. For this patient, who began her dialysis treatment of 3 4-hour sessions a week in August last year, she says the navigators have given her hope of a better life after surgery.
To see them actually gives us a lot of confidence because they've basically resumed normal life.
Having already gone through the process, this navigator says being able to share their experience will make a difference.
It is important for their understanding. They can ask us questions of what we went through. We do our best to, let them know.
It really helps the patient to bridge that gap between the cultural differences that they might find going to Adelaide and having tests and procedures.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. 2 local finalists selected in Broken Hill's Perfect Light Film Festival, and a breast cancer fundraiser with a difference to take place in Port Pirie. All Broken Hill residents can now access Dine and Discover vouchers, with the full rollout beginning today. Locals will need to apply for them through the Service New South Wales app, despite originally being told they would appear automatically. Eligible residents will receive $100 worth of vouchers, which must be used by the end of June. Port Lincoln's Bendigo Bank has named its scholarship winner for this year. Holly Shepherd was awarded the top prize, totalling $10,000. The money set to assist her with the cost of studying away from home. Ms. Shepherd will be studying a Bachelor of Health Science at Flinders University this year. It's the 7th year the bank has offered the scholarship program, with more than $95,000 given to regional students. After being postponed last year, the Perfect Light Film Festival makes its return this weekend. Organisers say there's never been a better time to begin making films, with the industry booming in Australia.
The Silver City back on the silver screen. Local films among the finalists for the Perfect Light Film Festival.
It's pretty impressive. The local Broken Hill film talent has been growing year on year.
Among them, Small Change, a touching film looking at how small gestures can mean much more.
I'd like some change, please, for the laundromat, if you can.
What if there was someone working in a shop, and who are the kinds of people that you might talk to, and what kind of difference can that make, even in a small way, in people's lives?
While first-time filmmaker Patrick Reinke was also shortlisted for Manager Mode, the story of a video game obsession gone too far.
You guys have had open shots all 45 minutes of that half and did not convert anyone.
I've seen the event for the past 3 years and always inspired to see local filmmakers get the nominations and see the attraction that it gets.
And like everything, this year's festival will look different. Gone is the event in Sturt Park, replaced by free screening at the Civic Centre. But it all kicks off tonight. 2 films with a strong Indigenous link to be shown.
Preparations are now in their final stages, and we kick off at the Silver City Cinema with a screening of Firestarter.
And because of Australia's handling of the pandemic, filmmaking here has a very bright future.
We have become the film-friendly, safe place to shoot.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie's 24 fit members will be riding assault bikes for 12 hours straight to raise funds for the Breast Cancer Foundation. The event will kick off at 5 tomorrow morning, with the group ready to go hard for a worthy cause.
Riding for an important cause, these 24 fit fanatics are preparing for a long journey ahead. After undertaking the Squat for Breast Cancer Challenge, these gym junkies will now be taking part in an assault bike marathon.
This Saturday we're running a fundraiser for the Breast Cancer Foundation. We're running like a 12-hour challenge, so we've got 3 assault bikes that will be running constantly from 5 a.m. till 5 p.m.
There's no time to be tired, with a steady rotation of members and staff ready to take the challenge on.
1 team that is just staff and then 2 teams of members. And the aim is for the fundraiser is to put in a guess and donate $5 to the foundation and guess how many kilometres will be on there at the end of the 12 hours.
Port Pirie residents are being encouraged to come support the initiative and dig deep for the good cause.
So one of our members, Kelly, is going to bring some ice cream. She's donated ice cream, which is awesome. She's going to have like a bit of a stall here so anyone can come in, have a bit of a look around if they're interested in joining.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Broken Hill Repertory Society is holding its first show of the year this weekend. Talented young singers taking to the stage, performing songs from Disney films including Frozen 2, Aladdin and High School Musical. Several new singers joining the ranks to showcase their skills. The Fairy Tale Spectacular kicks off at 2 p.m. Sunday, running for 2 weeks. All proceeds from the show go to Theatre 44. Stay with us after the break. Our cricket experts will preview the weekend's action across the region. And we'll have the weekend weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. It's another big weekend of cricket across our region, with Port Augusta hosting its grand final, while its preliminary final weekend in Port Augusta. With a preview, here's our experts with their tips.
G'day and welcome to the grand final edition of Port Augusta Cricket. The game this week sees Corn take on Central Stirling. Central Stirling have made their way through after defeating South Augusta last week. This should be a good match. Central have been the best team all year, but Corn beat them to go into the grand final. Corn are grand final specialists. I'd like to lean towards Central Stirling, but I can't see them beating Corn.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. To start the round off, we've got the grand final between Todd River and Charlton in the Colts grade. That's going to be played here at Centenary Oval. Charlton might upset Todd River here and get the job done in that game. In the next game, B-grade cricket, prelim final out at Ravendale, Tasmans versus Southern Air South. Tasmans finished second on the ladder and beat Southern Air in the last minor round game. Going to tip them to repeat the dose and play in next week's grand final. And in the final game, A-grade here at Centenary Oval, Charlton and Tasmans played off in last year's prelim final where Tasmans were too strong. Going to tip the same result this weekend. Thanks for listening to the Port Lincoln Cricket Tips.
Time now to check the all-important weekend weather forecast for our region. With all the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. Mainly fine conditions across the Gulf today. Perfect conditions for Whyla's Unearth Festival, with it reaching 29 degrees there. Port Lincoln was sunny and 26, and Port Pirie was partly cloudy and 32. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy both partly cloudy and 31 degrees. Sunny in Adelaide also 31. Woodner mostly sunny and 30 degrees. Kadina and Cleve both sunny and reached 28 degrees. Clare mostly sunny and 27. Broken Hill cloudy also reached 27. Taking a look at the satellite image now, patchy cloud about eastern and central parts of SA, with a nearby trough is only bringing the odd light shower. High cloud streaming across northern SA ahead of a trough is not rain bearing. Skies are otherwise mostly clear under the influence of a high pressure ridge. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Looking at the weekend's forecast now, Port Lincoln mostly sunny and set to reach 27 degrees. Cleve 28 tomorrow, Woodner to reach 31. Whyalla partly cloudy 29. Port Augusta similar conditions 32 there. Kadina 31. Port Pirie partly cloudy 32. Clare 27 and mostly sunny in Broken Hill, also 27 degrees. And rainy and cloudy conditions on Sunday. Showers and 21 in Cooper Pedy, cloudy and 28 in Woodner and Port Augusta. Port Lincoln, partly cloudy, 27. Broken Hill, 26. Adelaide set to reach a high of 28. Looking further through the week now, and as mentioned earlier in tonight's bulletin, there is a storm warning for Broken Hill with up to 20 millimetres of rain predicted and a storm warning issued. It's set to reach a top of 21 there. Cloudy in Port Pirie, 28. Port Augusta, 27 there. Woodner to top 29. Port Lincoln and Whyalla, 26. Adelaide, 25. Conditions clearing slightly on Tuesday. Partly cloudy conditions across the Gulf. Cooper Pedy, 29. Kadina, Whyalla and Broken Hill all set to reach 25. Set to be a top of 24 in Port Lincoln and Adelaide. So just an average weekend of weather, John, but I'm sure we'll still enjoy it anyway. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can find us on social media at our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. I'm John Hunt. Thanks for your company. I'll have updates later, and Ruby Kamain will be with you on Monday at 7 p.m. Have a great weekend. Good night.